It's indeed a real pleasure. It's exciting. We've got a Diaspora Forum, and the whole idea is to have that discussion so that we've got a new government, and there's a lot of people asking questions. So what does it mean for capital markets? Every time you watch the news, there's a lot of new agenda, new items. And the fantastic thing about the new government is you heard the president emphasizing on capital markets. In fact, the president himself was actually at the Nairobi Securities Exchange, and I'm glad Wagema is here. And he talked about the bottoms-up approach. He talked about no longer people, Wananchi like you and I, should actually be empowered. When we invest, it actually trickles upwards as opposed to coming downwards. And he talked about investor awareness. He talked about the grassroots levels, the county. He talked about privatization of companies so that you can get a piece of it. And all that we'll be talking about. So it's really exciting. My name is Conrad Afande. I'll be your taxi driver for about an hour. And so it's a pleasure. And we'll try to keep this light. And I can see Wagema's ready. Mumo's ready. I know Kenneth is ready. F.A. Diana is ready. Daniel Badutere is that. I think, Daniel, are you reading a Bible? You look into, like you're doing some gloss Bible reading before you. Sorry, Daniel works with me, so I have to pick it in. So it's my pleasure. Let me start by introducing our panelists. They say ladies first, but let me start with F.A. Diana Muriuki Minor, who's the CEO and Secretary to the Council of the Institute of Certified Investment and Financial Analysts, or better known as ICIFA. Diana, it's a pleasure having you. Karibu. You can
Thanks a lot, Conrad. I appreciate. I look forward to this discussion. Thanks.
Yes. Diana's been a big supporter of the capital markets, and we actually have an MOU together, and we work on so many things, and I think we have an exciting discussion to say. Now, my next guest is a friend of CMA, and if I don't introduce him next, I think he'll just drop off in protest. Irungu Wagema, okay, who is the Chief Officer, Strategy, Risk and Compliance. That is a heavy title. Even I'm scared when I say that. I mean, it seems like a lot of work. So you'll talk about that as well. And I know you've held many positions at the NSE. So you have a wealth of knowledge. We're looking forward to you sharing that information with us. So Karibu Wegama, you can say hello.
All right, thank you very much, Conrad. Of course, I wouldn't drop off, but I'm really delighted and elated to be part and parcel of this. I like the energy and I like also the engagement with diaspora. I think that is our 48th county. So we are really looking forward to engage, and we look forward to hearing even from you what questions you have, and we are here to support and engage with you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure. And then we have Mumo Mutisia, who's also very eager to open up his microphone. I can see your hands moving on the click button. So he's the head of strategy and commercial at the Central Depository and Settlement Corporation, better known as CDSC. So Mumo, let's say hello to the people.
Yeah. Hi, Conrad. You're right. I'm very eager to engage and hear from our customers. The reason we exist. So very excited to be here and to meet the rest of the panelists. We look forward to the session. And as you mentioned, I'm the head of strategy and commercial at the CDSC. Very excited about today and looking forward to a lively engagement. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks a lot. And we've also got Kenneth Minjire with the AIB Axis Africa Limited, which is an intermediary. So we have you can tell we have the exchange, we have a CIFA, we have an intermediary. So Kenneth, I hope you're not having camera issues. Can you turn your microphone on and say hello to Wananchi?
Hi, Conrad. How are you?
I'm good. Fantastic. Okay. All right. Great.
Sorry, it's caught the meeting caught me in between meetings, but yes, I'm also glad to be here.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Kenneth. And I think, I like the determination and the commitment. You can tell, like Irungu, for example, he's actually from an event. He's actually at the hotel on an event. And so rather than go home or to the office and miss the event here, they've put him up in a room and he's here. And I know, Mumo, you've had meetings. Diana, the CEO, has had a lot of meetings. So we thank you, Kenneth. And it looked like you're in transit. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. And then last but not least, and Daniel, I saved you for the best for last. So don't, Daniel is with CMA. He's our Senior Manager, Approvals, Analysis, and Issuer Governance. AAIG. So Daniel, say hi to the people.
Yeah, hello to everyone. I think for some it's good morning, others is good afternoon, and I'm glad to be here, and hopefully we'll have very good discussions. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure. So I think we'll just get into it. We've done introductions, and if you got a chance, I know we'll have a Q&A a bit later. We want to try and keep the session to a bit less than an hour because we understand, you know, it's in the morning in different parts of the world. It's different time zones, and we don't want to keep you too long. And we want to give you a chance to ask your questions. And if you got a chance, you can actually send your chat at the bottom of your screen. You can actually ask your question there, or just make a comment. And even before we get started, I'll be very curious to see like from what parts of the world you're in. So if you got a chance, you can actually type where you're from. Even if you're from, you could be in Kenya somewhere, you know, an exotic place, you know, at the Mara, you know, just say about the Mara, chilling out, you know. So just tell us where you are, and at some point I'll look at the chat and I'll get an appreciation of where we are. And also, another thing that we're doing is after the session, we want to get your feedback. You will receive a survey with a few questions, and we just want to collect data because your feedback is important to us. Yeah. So I think let me get started. Yeah. And let me start with and I'm going to ask questions at no particular order. I'll just randomly pick on anyone, and that's the power of being an MC. I can pick if I see somebody not, you know, like dozing off, I'll just ask you a question. Okay, so let me start with Daniel Baditere, our senior manager for approvals, analysis, and issuer governance. We can't assume that everyone knows who Capital Markets Authority is. Okay, so very briefly, give us for those of us of you, who is CMA? What's our role, and why are we here?
Yeah, thank you, Conrad. And once again, hello to everyone. Capital Markets Authority, and in short, CMA, is a body statutory established under an Act of Parliament, that is Cap 485A, in 1989, but started operations in 1990, and with a dual mandate of regulating and facilitating the development of the capital markets in Kenya. I think we know regulators worldwide, regulators for securities markets. Securities markets, same as capital markets, to be primarily focused on regulation. And I know we know the Securities and Exchanges Commission, there's some financial conduct, they take different names. But in Kenya, we have an additional mandate of developing the market, because we acknowledge that without a market which has been developed, there would be nothing to regulate. And this cuts across all the developing and emerging economies. Now, in 2016, we got an additional mandate, and this is regulation of commodities markets, spot commodities markets. And in Kenya, I think the most developed one is the Nairobi Coffee Exchange. Of course, we have many others, and that's an area that we are developing now and working together with stakeholders in those value chains in order to ensure that we support not only the regulation, but further development of those markets. So as a regulator, we license and we supervise market intermediaries. We ensure proper conduct of their business. And I think that's why we always insist that you have to work, or you have to deal with a licensed market institution. And then we oversight the issuance of products in the market. Mostly, many people know about stocks or shares, bonds, and many others. I think we'll be talking about those later. And also importantly, and this is where Conrad comes from, is promoting investor education and public awareness. So part of what we are doing now is to ensure that we create that awareness so that investors can see the opportunities available in the market, but also on the supply side, potential issuers, they see the opportunities to raise capital from the capital markets. And then finally, and people take this to be the most important, because when you look at all the markets around the world, the most primary role is to protect investor interest. So as an investor, as you put your money into stocks or bonds or any other security out there in the market, you want to ensure that that interest is protected, and regulators exist in order to ensure that your interests are safeguarded. Thank you, Conrad.
All right, thanks a lot. And then working close with the regulator, Irungu, I know people assume that they understand the Nairobi Securities Exchange. So maybe you can give us just a very brief introduction, like who exactly you are. A lot of times people confuse the regulator. You know, there's a regulator, there's an SRO, which is a self-regulatory organization, and then there's the exchange, the CDSC. So like just pull it off, at least for NSE. Give us a brief of who you are. Thanks.
Thanks, Conrad. And thank you for the introduction and the opportunity. And also, like Warutere has mentioned, they are our regulator, and we are the market. Sasa sisi ndi soko. To translate for everybody in diaspora, I'm saying we are the market. That means it is where people, buyers and sellers, normally meet and trade. So we actually provide that trading facility and also opportunity for you to invest in different products. So we are two markets in one. On one side, we have the people who are looking for capital. So maybe you want to develop your business, or maybe you want to expand your business. You want to go to the next level. You need capital. So instead of just looking to the banks or other means of capital, you can look to us as the NSE, and we're able to provide you capital through a range of products that we have. That is on one side. On the other side, we are also a market for investors. So where you are looking for an investment opportunity, you want to save, you want to grow your wealth. So we become also that market to you. So the two markets in one, that is what makes us as a NSE a market. Otherwise, we were founded in 1954. Yes, you had that right, before independence. That's when we came into operation. We have over 6 decades. That is 60 years plus of being around. And of course, we've developed all over, over the period of time. We provide a world-class trading facility, like I've mentioned. And of course, we are looking at we are the barometer of the Kenyan economic growth. So as the country is developing, different companies are growing, we want you to be part of it. So we are helping those people who need to raise capital, as well as those who need an investment opportunity to be able to tap into it. We are fully fledged members of the World Federation of Exchanges. That is, we sit with New York Stock Exchange, Shanghai, London, and all those. So we are part and parcel of them. We are the founding member of the African Securities Exchanges. That is ASEA. So we have over 30 exchanges in Africa, and we have the secretariat and also a member of the East Africa Securities Exchanges. And last but not least, we have our futures market. That is, and we are members of the Association of Futures Market, and also the UN-led SSE initiative. So don't feel like we are small. We are big enough for you. We are small enough for you. We are just the right size. In a nutshell, just to summarize, our mission is for you to discover opportunity. Anytime you think about it.
Okay, I think Wagema, I think you've lost your connection in just a bit. I think we'll give him a moment when he comes back. But now let me just switch quickly and go now to CDSC. Mumo, who are you? What exactly is the role of CDSC? And how do you relate CDSC and NSE? How are they intertwined together? So maybe you can give us that brief so we understand better. Thank you.
Thank you, Conrad, and it's a pleasure to be here once again and interact with our lovely customers, stakeholders, and of course the CMA and the NSE. So as mentioned before, I'm Momo, Head of Strategy and Commercial at the CDSC. So I think in brief, the Central Depository and Settlement Corporation is a private limited company, licensed and regulated by the CMA. And in a nutshell, what the CDSC does, we like to consider ourselves as the central bank of the capital markets, in the sense that we are the entity that is mandated to ensure the safe custody of investor accounts and the assets they hold under those accounts. And also we undertake and provide settlement services for transactions carried out at the NSE. So CDSC was established in the year 2004. We commenced operations in 2004. That was after the establishment of the Central Depository Act in the year 2000. And since then, we've done quite a number of things in the market, the key ones being the digitization of share certificates so that they become electronic, for more efficient operations in the market. We've been also involved in with other stakeholders, of course, in products like Makiba, and more recently, a number of things based on the new systems we rolled out in 2019. Some interesting products like SLB, which allows investors to lend their securities, earn some income from that, or borrow and execute their trading strategies at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Other than that, I think one of the things we like to communicate to the public is one, CDSE was brought into the market to embody trust. We sit between buyers and sellers in the sense that we ensure anyone who's undertaking transactions, if you're supposed to get securities, you get your securities. If you're supposed to get money at the end of the day, we do the settlement to ensure that everyone gets their due. So in a nutshell, we hold about 2.7 trillion in terms of value of assets, investor assets, 24/7, 365, whether it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, holiday, whatever day of the week, we are responsible for making sure those assets are safe. We serve about 1.6 million CDS account holders, and these are the people we are here to talk to in terms of engaging them and hearing them out and answering their questions. On average, in a year, we do about 156 billion in terms of settling trades done at the NSE. And what we hope to do in terms of our mission, we want to facilitate marketplaces that are secure, transparent, and efficient. And we look forward to continuing that journey with the rest of our stakeholders. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks a lot. A very good and good numbers there. A good snapshot of CDSE and just how you operate. And Irungu, thank you. I know we lost you for a few seconds, but I see that you're back. Thank you. That's good. And sorry, did you say you mentioned NSE was formed in 1954 and you were working there in 1954? You look good for your age. I'm just saying.
Conrad, I can see you have some white beards. And I also looked at mine. I saw I have some white beards.
I know. Look at my white beard and my bald head.
Yes.
Tells you a lot.
Yeah.
So now, yeah.
I'm like part of the furniture, but really, I'm really super fortunate to have been in NSE since I joined as an intern in 2002, and here it is. It's 2022, so I'm really blessed. Yeah. So anyway, what I was saying before I was disconnected was that if anytime you think investments, think NSE. I hope you got that, and we are really glad to be part and parcel of this. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. I just want to give a chance to close out. Now, still on the market. Now you've heard from the regulator, you've heard from the exchange, you've heard from the CDSE. Now, going to the market, Kenneth, tell us about AIB Access. What products do you have that will be of interest to the diaspora or your fellow Kenyans that are here today? Just briefly, thank you.
Hi, Conrad.
Hi.
Thanks, Conrad. So AIB Access is a market intermediary, as Conrad mentioned. Basically, what we do is we bring buyers and sellers of securities. This is both listed and unlisted securities on the exchange. So we bring them together and determinant on market price, they're able to buy and sell. So AIB has a special place in our hearts for diaspora clients. As such, we have launched several products that help diaspora clients able to have seamless transactions from start to finish, despite wherever they may be in the world. As long as they have an internet connection, they can buy and sell. So our first product, of course, is our DigiTrader, which is a mobile application, which can be downloaded on both iOS and Android softwares. So this allows you to open an account within 24 to 48 hours by basically uploading all your documentation, all your KYC documents. So once the account is opened with as little as basically, I'd say about 1,000 shillings, you are able to invest. And as they mentioned, the Nairobi Stock Exchange, I mean, in terms of listed counters, we have very attractive counters on the equity market. Currently, the product for the DigiTrader only allows you to trade Sorry, I've got
yeah, okay.
You can open the account, send in money through various channels, M-Pesa, which I know is available in a lot of diaspora countries, as well as sending Swift money through Swift to our bank accounts. And you're able to transact and manage your portfolio actively through our mobile app, as well as our website, which also gives you the same access. You also get access to our research, market pointers, as well as anything that would assist you in making wise investment decisions. When it comes to fixed income, we also have a product that our regulator kindly assisted us. They understood the need that was then in the market, and they assisted us in setting up this product. This product allows diaspora clients, it's especially made for diaspora clients who might not have the ability to open accounts with the Central Bank of Kenya directly, to open these accounts, to open sub-custodial accounts with us, which are secured through our bankers. And through communication, you can issue us with instructions, you can transfer funds, and actively participate in our fixed income market as well.
Conrad, you're muted.
Sorry, okay, there we go. Thanks a lot, Kenneth. That was a good introduction of your products. And I think part of why we're here is to also give you an opportunity to pitch your product so that people can understand it better. Now, I saved the best for last. F.A. Diana Muriuki, Minor, the CEO of ISIFA. So I know a lot of people are asking, so ISIFA, tell us about ISIFA. I know you've been there for quite a while. You've had a lot of forums. You just had one that completed, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We all participated. You've been doing a lot of great things. So maybe you can give us an introduction of who exactly you are. Karibu.
Thank you very much, Conrad. I appreciate and we appreciate your invitation on behalf of ISIFA. So one thing I need us to remember, even if I say so many things, is that ISIFA is the professional body of the best and trusted investment and finance professionals. Can somebody say amen?
Amen. Amen.
So if you need to remember, is our professionals are the best and trusted in the industry. And I believe we are the largest stakeholder in terms of the professionals in the financial industry. So we are seeing professionalism and excellence is being enhanced in our market because of that. And why do I say this? Firstly, let me say ISIFA is established under an act of parliament, the Investment and Financial Analyst Act, which was enacted on 8th December 2015. So in terms of existence as a professional body mandated by law, it's nearly 7 years. But before that, it has been in existence as an association, I believe, since the 1990s. But we are glad that the law came into effect just for the sake of ensuring there's professionalism in the industry. I'm sure if I ask any of you, I'm just from asking people in a different forum, if maybe any of you or if you know someone has lost money through a fraudulent investment scheme, I'm sure over 90% will raise up their hands. And that is exactly what ISIFA is curing, that we need to ensure that those who are providing investment advice, those who are structuring the products, those who are involved in investment transactions or verifications, they require to be members of ISIFA, and so that they are recognized as professionals. I know Conrad started with FA, and I normally like to tell people, please don't forget the FA, because you need to remember the designatory letters, just the same way as a doctor. You cannot forget doctor, and it recognizes one as a member of ISIFA. They are duly recognized by law. that they can practice as investment and financial analysts. So our main mandate is, of course, to regulate the investment and financial analysis profession and to register and license certified investment and financial analysts in the practice, in both the public and private practice. And I just want to highlight, what is this practice? Because we get a lot of these questions. What are certified investment and financial analysts involved in? They're, of course, involved in investment advice as the first key one, in investment transactions, anything pertaining to investment and financial analysis. I've already mentioned verification of investments. So these are people primarily in the investment banking, stock brokerage. So all of them in investment departments, they require to be our member. And if they are not, that is illegal. Because how do you assure, how is there accountability in an organization involved in investment banking or stock broking if their team members are not even professionals? So there's a risk there. So we must ensure that there's professionalism across all these firms. And the other fields are fund management, and even the public sector, such as the county governments. If we have investment directors, they are our members. We also have from capital markets, of course. We have membership from the capital markets, the National Treasury, private equity, anything involved with investment. The team members, especially the ones who are at high-level positions and they have the investment decision-making roles, they require to be members of ICIFA. So we are heading towards our vision, which is the leading institute for investment and finance professionals, because I've already mentioned the issue of best and being trusted. And because we really want, again, I want to say we want to promote that professionalism and excellence amongst our members and the financial industry. And just to add that we are currently at over 1,050 members as at today, 30th November. And I can say one of our registration committee members representing the Capital Markets Authority is Daniel Warutere. In fact, we were with him early this morning. Yeah, just ensuring that we are registering the right people in the institute. And what are the requirements to be registered? The first and foremost, one requires to have done the CIFA qualification, that is by CASNEP. So that is the main one. I know Conrad is going to ask me a couple of questions, so I think I can stop there. And that is now about the main thing about ICIFA, but I've said the most important thing to remember. I hope you remember. Thanks, Conrad.
Yes, thanks a lot. And I think you said if you don't say FA, we get fined how much? Or you go to jail for 2 years. Don't just say, don't, you know. But anyway, but thanks a lot. I think it's a good introduction. Now, my apologies, I forgot to introduce, we've got the team working behind the scenes to make sure that it's a success. I'm going to ask maybe Lucy to put your screen on and just say hello to the viewers or the participants. I think Lucy, you're there. Yes.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to have you on board, and karibuni sana. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We've also got Chebi. I think Chebi's he's the guy who's been opening the door for you. You don't just walk into a living room. He's the one opening the door for you. So Chebi, maybe you can say hello to everyone. Okay, I think Lucy, I think maybe he's lost his connection. And last but not least, we have Laureen. Laureen, if you can maybe say hello.
Hi, everyone.
Okay.
Welcome to the forum and hope you enjoy.
All right, thank you, that we will. Now, let me switch hats. Let's now get into it, okay? Now, Daniel, we've obviously had a peaceful election, and we're all happy about that. We've got a new government, and you know, there's a lot of media publicity locally and globally. You've heard about the Kenya Kwanza manifesto, and everyone you've heard about the president wanting to cut the budget by 300 billion, you know, and the Hustler Fund, all these things that are happening. So in your view, what's the outlook for capital markets? And I know there's almost like a global recession at the moment, but just without going too deep, and let's keep this in layman's terms. What's your outlook for capital markets at the moment? Maybe the next 1 year, 5 years. How do you see it? Let's give our diaspora people some comfort in knowing what exactly is happening. Dan?
Yeah. Thank you, Conrad. And let me start by saying that I think we've never been this optimistic as capital market stakeholders, because the government has come in with a lot of support for capital markets, and I think we are looking at it from different perspectives. But the most important, from an investor perspective, is the opportunities that this is going to present. Because you're looking at funding coming from you, the investor, not, I think, the traditional model where you have government financing even commercial enterprises. So there are many opportunities that this presents for all of us, especially even for those who are in the diaspora. And I think we'll get an opportunity to talk about products that will be available for our diaspora investors. But from a global perspective, I know it has been a bit dull because of what is happening, and Conrad has mentioned about recession. There are some analysts who believe that we already in a recession, or others believe that we're getting into it, but some feel that it's going to be quite short-lived, one semester. So we are hoping that probably, especially in the Kenyan market, that we've been to the bottom, rock bottom, in terms of the lowest that the market has ever been. So we can only go up. And I think especially the support coming from the government, we believe that that is going to be the case. But from a global perspective, I think all of us, from wherever you're operating from, we've noted very high inflation. I think figures that have not been witnessed for decades, and these across developed markets, developing, first world. So inflation rates are very high. Interest rates have been rising and consistently. And then we have currencies depreciating. I think the only stronger currency now is the dollar. I think we've seen even how the pound has been behaving. Then we have forex pressures, especially for countries like ours, where we rely a lot quite on forex flows, especially from our exports. And of course, you have countries which predominantly export commodities. They've not been doing badly, but for most countries like Kenya, especially where we look at even tourism and other areas which were heavily hit by COVID, I think there has been some significant challenges. And then, of course, we know and we've been observing what's happening in terms of monetary policy tightening across the globe. And this has some very negative impact on developing economies, especially ours. So the challenges that we are witnessing in Kenya, they are not because of our own making, but they are because of a result of multiple happenings across the globe. And of course, especially when you look at the geopolitics, Russia, Ukraine, that has brought in a different dimension in an already, struggling global economy. But on the domestic front, there has been, especially before elections, probably not much of fears, but of course, investors were a bit, are holding back, not sure of the outcome. But I think we are happy with how the markets have behaved after the elections. We're seeing some stability, especially when you look at volatility, liquidity slowly coming back. At some point was a bit tight. And then foreign capital flows. There's a lot of confidence by investors. Probably you may have seen that we have transactions coming to the market. And recently we approved a real estate investor trust. We have a rights issue coming up. These are foreign investor who is coming big. They want to acquire additional shares on the listed company. And then, of course, we have even buybacks, share buybacks by companies, because they see that their stocks are undervalued. So they see opportunities in terms of buying shares at the lowest, but of course also offering investors an opportunities, those who would want to exit, to get a better value than what they would get from the market. And as I conclude on this part, I think also important to mention that the government has placed a lot of emphasis on supporting Kenyans in the diaspora. And I think we have all witnessed that we have a PS specifically designated for diaspora affairs. And I think that's a huge statement. And over and above that, many initiatives, especially on privatization, where the government has committed 5 to 10 privatizations in the next 1 to 2 years, which is significant. New product offerings, and we expect them to come to the market, especially on the fixed income segment as well as equities. But I think also important to mention that all this that we are witnessing, we are also very optimistic from a capital markets perspective. We have a PS nominee who is coming from the Capital Markets Authority, and he will be the PS investment under the Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry, which is a huge statement because we'll have an ambassador who understands capital markets industry, and we believe that policies that support both the demand and supply side, basically the investor and issuers who want to raise capital from the markets will be fully supported by the government. So we have reasons to be optimistic as Kenyans who are here and those who are in the diaspora. Thank you, Conrad.
All right, thanks a lot. I think you said a lot of important things, and one of the things that's important is, you see, if you look at an economy like in Ghana, I think the CD has depreciated, I think, by 41%, and I think the inflation is almost 20%. If you look at the UK, for the first time in 41 years, it's almost 10%. So it's a global thing. Now, Kenneth, in terms of now the products that you offer, how do you as an institution facilitate wananchi and the diaspora to sort of buy your products? Like, do you have a program for diaspora? Do you have an awareness campaign? How do you get people to know your products?
Thanks, Conrad. How of course we do this through a lot of online marketing, which is I think one of the main portals or ways to get through to the diaspora. And all our products, investment products, are tailored in such a way that whether you're sitting in Wisconsin or even here in Kenya, in Northeast, and as long as you have an internet connection, you are able to open accounts, especially when it comes to equities, open an account seamlessly and send money through and still get to invest. So other than that, I think I've mentioned earlier that we also have a product that is tailored specifically for diaspora clients, especially when it comes to fixed income, which has been quite exciting the last I'd say 18 to 24 months in terms of returns, especially when you compare it with other asset classes in Kenya. And the diaspora clients have traditionally had quite a difficult time opening an account with central bank, which is the prerequisite to be able to buy these government bonds mostly. And what we've done is we've set it up in such a way that they can open the account through our sub-custodial agreements with our bankers, send money through and instruct us or give us guidance and instruction on what they would like to invest in. And and this whole process is completely seamless. It takes a very short time. And this just gives the clients access to markets that they were traditionally not able to access.
All right, thanks a lot. Now you heard it. There's a lot of opportunities. Now let me ask Mumo, in terms of technology, What is CDSC doing to facilitate access to your services? Especially, we had COVID. There's a lot more people who are online. There's an increase in internet, access, and the numbers are going higher. So what are you doing? What have you done? What are some of the new initiatives?
Thanks, Conrad. Loving the discussion so far. Very informative. So one of the key things that happened during the COVID season is, of course, like everywhere else in the world, we could not move around as much as we wanted. So the pressure and the push was for the market, including the CDSC, to provide digital access to our investors. So one of the channels that we've been having for a while is the CDSC mobile app, but we felt we wanted to do something a bit more interactive and in touch with current trends. So we partnered with a service provider that has a chatbot platform called Rhino. It's currently available on the various app stores. So this allows you to register, link your CDS account, and then through very simple commands, you can query your portfolio, your transaction history. You can get your statement. It allows you to view your account and know what kind of details are captured in that account. So that's one of the things we've really been trying to encourage investors to take up and interact with, because now, regardless of where you're seated on the planet, you can get access to your CDS account. You can confirm whether your buys and sells have gone through. You can know your portfolio valuation, etc. So I think that's one of the main things we've been able to do, at least on the investor-facing side. The other critical thing we did was we enhanced our system to allow that system to interact now with systems run by our central depository agents through something called an API. This allows them now to integrate their mobile apps, their web portals, etc., with the CDS system. So that now allows us to be able to scale out our services. So through your broker, through your central depository agent, you can open an account, you can query your details, you can initiate transfers, you can make amendments to your account. So that had to be done because, one, CDSC delivers its services through our central depository agents. They are key partners. People like Kenneth with AIB Axis and many others in the market are very critical in terms of how we deliver our services, both in terms of physical and technology centered services. So that's where we are in terms of tech. Recently, also with a partnership with the NSE and FIDA Investment Bank, we avail CDSC services on what is called the HISA app. If you don't know about them, you can check them out. They have some very interesting offerings. So specifically, CDSC services are also available on that platform. And this is now through, you'll be coming through HISA, but links to FIDA Investment Bank as a central depository agent. So tech-wise, those are some of the few things we are doing. I think the other key one I'd like to mention is based on also on our enhanced system, which was rolled out in 2019. We have a product called securities lending and borrowing. Now, the beautiful thing about SLB, and this is truly something that I really like discussing. One, if you're an investor and you hold securities, you don't have a plan. You don't know whether you want to buy, sell, you're just accumulating, depending on the advice you get from FA Diana and friends. This allows you to lend out your securities. So you say, I want to lend out my entire Safaricom portfolio to the market. Somebody will borrow it and undertake some strategies that they have on the market. Of interest to you as a lender is that you get additional income from the securities you lend. Based on their value, there's an interest that you earn every time somebody uses those securities. So that's a very important one, I think, in terms of what tech has enabled us to do. So when the market is going down, for you, you can sit pretty. I've lent out my securities. I'm getting some income on that. So for borrowing, if you're good with short selling, the trading, those are very important products in the market. And again, I'm sure we'll say more about it. SLB now allows you to come in, borrow securities, and hopefully, as you know what you're doing, you can get some additional income from that as well. So in a nutshell, that's where we are in terms of tech and the products that are based on our tech. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot. And Wagema, because you're smiling very hard, like you want to say something, and I know you're big on technology. And plus, you look very cool with that chair. Looking very powerful. What about NSC? What are you doing for technology?
Here I'm like Morpheus. I can only show you the door. You have to get in yourself. Anyway, so I'm here at Ole Sereni, and they've given me a good space. I need to dash actually for another engagement, but I'll be able to respond to what Conrad has asked, also touching on some things that Rotere and Mumo have also mentioned, just to be able to bring into perspective. So one of the key things as the NSC we are keen on is education. You know, we always say education, education, education. So for any form of investment, for you to be able to start investing, you have to be knowledgeable about what it is that you're investing in. So we have different channels that are available. One which is free on our YouTube channel and also on our Facebook channel, that is Investing Tuesdays. So we actually had some recordings which takes you on a step-by-step. You want to understand what is a CDS account, we explain it to you. What is the role of the regulator? We explain it to you. What does a broker do? And we did it also in conjunction with the AIB Axis, FAIDA, amongst other people within the industry. So it breaks down, how do you invest? How do you have a balanced portfolio? How do you look at the risks? What is it that you should look for in a company to invest? So we have that series. It's available. Just type Investing Tuesdays, and you should be able to get that. To complement that, even for issuers, we have our Trading Bell show that airs on our local TV station, that is KTN, but also is available on YouTube. So when you go Trading Bell show, you should be able to get a lot of information about how to be able to trade. And to add to the icing, now to the cake, to the icing now, we also have an LMS, which is the learning management system through our NSC Academy. So with the learning management system, what we've done is that we have different courses that empower you now to be more in-depth in terms of different products or even market strategies and all that. So all that is being offered since COVID happened online. So it's a digital platform where you can actually get to interact and even simulate trading. So you don't just need only to be taught theory, but you can actually get to engage. So it is something that you definitely be looking out for from a technology point of view. And to get, for you to invest, you need market information. So we have the NSC app, complementary to what CDSC have, and also like what the brokers have. So through the app, you can actually get to trade. You choose your broker and you're able to do that. So that is if you're on mobile phone, but also online on our website, you can actually go there and you click online sites. So we have a common broker back office that also provides online trading. So wherever place of the world you are, even the time zone, you can actually get to go to the NSC site and be able to have online share trading, as well as the app where you can be able to trade. So we are making sure that you can access the market, and it is really an exciting time. Conrad, I just beg, if I can also mention some initiatives, because you know people have gotten all this access, but what are they going to invest in? And Rotere did mention that, where we've been engaging aggressively with the president. We launched what we call the NSC Enhanced Marketplace. An enhanced marketplace needs listings. It needs products to invest in. So what the government, like Rotere had mentioned, has committed to is actually having more listings, privatizations. What we noted is that when the government starts privatization, it happened around Safaricom. We had many other privatizations coming along. So when the government is confident about the market, I think the current presidency, even in the election campaign, they said, how are they going to foot, the growing budget, debt deficit? And they said they would actually use the market, and they're keen on everybody with a bottoms-up approach. They see the market as an avenue where every Kenyan can own Kenya, and also tap into this growing economy and participate in it, even with a focus on savings and investments. So one of the key things that their purpose is actually to have more listings. So that is good news for all of us. And this is not talk. Like Rotere said, I know he is a regulator and he said it very fast. We have a REIT coming. So we have a REIT that is coming. Today, we actually here at Ole Sereni, we had a national REIT conference, and they were part of the people who are showcasing. However, you'll not be able to trade this REIT to begin with, but we'll have, because they have gotten, I think Rotere is best placed, for 3 years, they'll not trade. But of course, your pension still will be able to be invested in. So we've had also a lot of interest in other companies. Yesterday, the day before yesterday, I got an application from an SME. They want to come and list on the GEMS platform. So we are still processing, so that is something that is yet to come out in the public domain. But one of the key things the CMA has done is also to streamline the regulations so that even SMEs can raise funds. That was previously not possible. So we are waiting for gazettement. But once that comes in, as an SME, because I know it's not just people who want to invest who are there, but you have your company, you want to raise capital, you can still raise capital through the Kenyan ecosystem. And then, of course, we are also talking to new companies that are coming on board. And when we have the next IPO, we want it to be digital. So it will be an e-IPO. So everything, the way we had Makiba, it's something similar that we'll be having. So you don't have to queue, you don't have to come to Kenya. Wherever you are, there'll be provision for you guys to come on board. And of course, there are many initiatives that we have to increase listings from our Ibuka program. So you are a company, you want to be incubated, you want to be corporatized so that you're investment ready. We offer that as a service through our Ibuka program. And also we have what we call the unquoted securities platform, where before you come and list, you can actually be able to come on board and also raise some capital before you come maybe for the main listing. So many things that are in store from NSE. We are really keen to be the investment partner of choice and also to provide you and hear you, even as the diaspora, concerning the different needs that you have, and we shall have tailor-made solutions. Momo did mention about day trading, and you can actually have you can actually buy and sell the same day. So several brokers, we actually cut down on our fees to facilitate. We actually waived our fees so that you can be able to buy, sell as many times during the day. And that one, we're also collaborating with the authority and different brokers to be able to bring that to market. And then also Bonga points. I know our retailer mentioned about Safaricom. People, it was Minjire. People out there have M-Pesa. So Bonga points, they are going to expire and you can actually redeem them for shares. So plenty that is in store from NSE. We are super excited. Like Conrad and also our retailer did mention, we are at a time where we have the goodwill of the government. This is your opportunity. So we are looking forward to roll out most of this. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Magema. And I think you mentioned you have another engagement.
Yes, I may be on transit, so I'll be listening on transit. So if I come again later, I can also speak as I'm on transit.
Okay,
I hope
thank
you
you.
don't mind.
No, that's
Thank
fine. Just have the hotel deliver that seat to my office, please.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. All right.
Okay,
now,
bye.
Diana, you FA. Oh my God, FA Diana. Sorry. Fine. You talked when you talked about ISIFA. You mentioned. I think you started briefly talking about what it takes to be a member of ISIFA and how do you. And I think there's certain qualifications and certain things that need to be in place. So maybe you can talk about that briefly. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Conrad. Just to continue from where I left off, one of the main requirements of joining is you need to have successfully completed the Certified Investment and Financial Analyst qualification examined by CASNAB. So that is the main requirement. That's the requirement in accordance with the Act. And we have different categories of membership. And the first one is associate membership. So someone who has completed CIFA and has less than 3 years experience, they can join as an associate member. That's one category. The second category is full membership. And one who has completed CIFA and has more than 3 years of experience can join as a full member. And there's also practicing. This is a full member who has more than 4 years of experience. So the difference between full member and practicing is just 1 year. Full member requires at least 3 years, practicing member 4 years. We also have a fellowship category, which is a category that recognizes members who have made a significant contribution in the growth of the institute or in the industry. So those are the 4 main categories. As currently, we don't have a student category, but this is something that we are planning to address together with CASNAB. So those are I will say there are four main categories of membership.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. I think the student category will be a big hit, and I think it's something to definitely pursue. Now let me go to Daniel. You gave a good sort of snapshot of the economy and where capital markets is headed. Oftentimes you get questions for people that want to, especially diaspora, who want to come back to Kenya and open a stock brokerage firm. And is it? I mean, I know, without making it complicated, because I know you can talk about this forever, but just in very quickly, what is the procedure? Is it stringent? Can you encourage them to actually come and set up shop here, or is it a lot of bureaucratic procedures? So maybe you can talk about that. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Conrad. I think one thing that many people out there don't realize is that getting a capital market license for whichever business you'd want to undertake. Of course, within the license categories that we have under the law, it's a fairly straightforward process. It's not complicated, and we have tried as much as possible to simplify what we got in the regulations. I know many people don't like the legalese when you're reading the regulations. It's never easy. But I think the most important point is that you don't even need to hire an advisor, maybe a legal advisor or maybe financial advisor to take you through the requirements for purposes of licensing. But of course, that's your option if you want to get an advisor. What we've done is that we have simplified the license application process by developing checklists. So you just need to go to the CMA website and you'll be able to download a checklist for whichever license you'd want to apply for. Actually, it's more simplified. The same way when you're applying for a visa and you know that I require a photograph, I require ABCD. We have gone down to that level. So you go to the website, you download the checklist for the license that you'd like to apply for, and then from that, you put together your application and you submit. And once you submit, we commit that you'll get your license from the date that you comply with all the requirements within, we usually say within 20 working days, you should be able to get your license. So it's a fairly straightforward process, but not specifically coming to the stock brokerage because you'll be required to be a trading participant at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. You also need to go to the NSC, and part of the requirement is that you come with a letter from NSC confirming that the moment you get the license, NSC will admit you as a trading participant. And it's for good reason, because you'll have to connect the technology at the exchange. So you have to confirm that you have the capacity, you have the infrastructure that will be able to connect with the exchange for purposes of trading on behalf of your clients. But I think the figure which I have to point out is that the paid up capital required is only 50 million Kenya shillings. So not very high. I know many people in the diaspora would afford to raise that kind of capital. And this is the capital that you require. Of course, this is what you'll be applying towards the infrastructure and all that. So the capital required for purposes of setting up the business. And once you have our license, then you can commence operations. I hope I have answered the question, Conrad.
Yes. Very thorough as usual. Thank you very much. Now, Kenneth, I think you touched on this briefly when you talked about your products for AIB Access. What are some of the, if I'm a diaspora individual and I invest with your institution, how can I be assured that I'm protected? So how do you protect our investments? What do you have in place? And I know you've got a regulator, but I think they're curious to hear as an institution, how do you protect our investments? And you can talk about technology as well. Kenneth?
Thanks, Conrad. So basically, I'll start on the equities end. I think CDSC had mentioned that they are basically the holders of all the securities, that all the equities, securities, and also corporate bonds that are traded on the exchange. So as AIB Access and all other intermediaries, what we are basically is a CDA. We don't hold the securities ourselves. Securities are held at the CDSC. So in the unfortunate event that an intermediary was to become insolvent, for example, your securities are protected because they are not held with the CDA. At the same time, the regulator, I know you mentioned the regulator, but the regulator has also enforced over the last, I'd say the last 8 years or so, since we had a few issues with local intermediaries, they've enforced very strict compliance regulations. So we have our compliance desk. We have regular audits by the regulator as well. As well as when it comes to funding, for example, these monies are all kept in separate client accounts. This is mostly for equity. So for fixed income, I'd mentioned that any fixed income accounts we open on behalf of our clients are opened under a sub-custodial agreement with our custodian, who is a local and licensed bank and well-established bank. So this is also regulated by the CMA, who have mentioned run regular audits. Also, when it comes to your portfolio, because of the digital access we're able to give our clients, what that means is now the client is able to view their portfolio through our AIB DigiTrader at any point in time, 24 hours a day. You're able to, every time there's a transaction that occurs as well, CDSC also have a system on their end, which is independent of ours, that alerts you to any transactions that are executed in your account. We do as well. So all these put together offer the client full transparency on their purchases, on their sales, and also in terms of their balances in their accounts.
All right, thank you very much. And let me, so we're coming to the end, because I'd like to allow for some few minutes for questions, but I can't believe, now Mumu, there's been a lot of interest in, CDC recently issued a public statement saying that accounts that are not active will no longer be dormant. So I think there's a question of how can that benefit Diaspora? Because I thought people think that when you make it dormant, it sort of prompts people to actually invest. So how are they going to benefit? And then maybe, I think Wagema touched on this, Emakiba. What are the plans to reopen Emakiba or issue a new Emakiba? So maybe just as two, and we'll get, thanks.
Thanks, Conrad. I hope you can hear me. Had a bit of a freeze on my end.
Yes. Yes, very clear. Yeah.
Excellent. So yeah, about the dormancy, one of the things that initially CDSC and the market had envisioned to do is have a situation whereby if you don't use your account for a long time, then it's marked dormant primarily as a way of protecting your investments. So with the enhancement of the CDS system, which is the core system that holds investor assets, with the upgrading of that system came with stronger controls and monitoring capabilities. And this is both CDSC internally and of course for the regulator. So with those controls in place, we were now in a position that to say we can confidently say that we have sufficient compensating mechanisms to allow us now to remove dormancy. And I think the important message here is that this allows us now as investors, because there was a process, a legally mandated process of lifting that dormancy, out of the way, it allows us now to be able to get back to the market, to buy and sell, to participate at the Nairobi Securities Exchange and access the good opportunities therein. So that's the key thing around the dormancy, and we hope this move now will encourage investors to engage with the market. We've been also engaging investors on SMS regarding the same issue. So at some point on email or SMS, you get a notification telling you about this and encouraging you to participate. So be on the lookout for that. Emakiba is something that we are very excited about. CDSC, NSC, and our market intermediaries, we had been part of this journey since around 2015, 2016, when the idea was being conceptualized, until now we went live with Emakiba around about 2017. And you see, the good thing with Emakiba and the vision that the government and the stakeholders had was to allow retail investors to have a how we can be ready for the launch as and when the time comes. So I think mine would be to encourage the people on this call just to be on the lookout, to be on alert. We expect it to hopefully in the coming year to show up. It's a very good product with very good returns, and it has a very strong financial inclusion angle that is to be more active in the government bond space. So discussions are ongoing to see how quickly that can happen, hopefully in the coming year. And we're actively participating in that with the NSC and quite a number of other stakeholders to be ready for that. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Now, I'm very cognizant of the time. I know that we plan to end at 5:30. So I think I'll give this opportunity for the audience to ask your questions. You can actually, just so we do it in an orderly manner, if you don't mind raising your hand on your computer, and I can call upon, and you can actually unmic. You can just raise your hand. Oh, well, Daniel, you have a question? You're the panelist. How? Okay. Did you raise your hand, Daniel?
I was checking to see if it's working, but I can make a quick comment if you allow.
Yeah.
I think today in the country has been a big day, the launch of the Hustlers Fund. But I think it's important to say what we've been doing in the capital markets as far as supporting those who have hustles that would require a capital boost. And we recently have had crowdfunding regulations gazetted, and just to help us understand what this means. If you have people out there who have especially the medium, small, micro enterprises or even startups, and they require capital, it's usually very difficult for them to access capital. So now through these crowdfunding regulations, they will be able to access capital through regulated platforms. And I think this is a point that you have to keep emphasizing, that when you're dealing with investments, make sure that you deal with regulated persons or vehicles and institutions. So we will be licensing crowdfunding platform providers. And I know Wagema is listening and may want to make a comment on that, so that now, especially for those in the diaspora, maybe there are opportunities you are seeing, but there's no structured means of you investing in those opportunities. So now through this framework, we'll be offering those opportunities for investors, especially those who are in the diaspora and they want to participate in supporting businesses here locally. So you are supporting at the same time, you'll get an opportunity to get a return from your investment. Thank you, Conrad, for allowing me to make that comment.
No, I think that's a very important comment, and I thank you for that. I wish we had like more time. We'd actually spend more time. Now, let me open up the floor. I see we've got a question from Shadrach. Shadrach, you can direct, say who the question is for, and then you can actually open up your microphone and ask your question. And then anyone else, you can actually send a chat at the bottom, and then you can ask a question. Shadrach, over to you.
Yes, good evening, guys.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very clear.
My question goes to FA Diana. My question was on corporate governance. How do you understand a company has a good structure in corporate governance? Like this foreign markets that deal like Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, we find that these markets, some of which are scams, where you invest and you lose money. How can you, as a ISIFA, help us as the diaspora understand the corporate governance of such markets, especially for the cryptocurrencies? Thank you.
Okay. Maybe we'll take the next question, and then we'll have them answer. I think I don't have a name, but it says 313-697-816. That is a cool name. So 313, you can ask your question. I think your hand is raised. Okay, you can ask your question. Okay, maybe that's an error. Okay, so maybe F. Diana, you can respond, and then any other person in the panel, because actually the question is really, it's a market question, not really for one particular. So anyone else can actually even jump in. So F. Diana, thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much, Shadrach, for that question. So, okay, as I mentioned, you see our focus is on professionals, but I can answer your question from the point of professionalism. So because corporate governance also relates with having proper guidelines or how to control or direct a firm so that you can manage risks. And given that this is a cryptocurrency or a Bitcoin firm, it is important that the people behind the trading, the people behind the structure, the people behind establishing the Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, they are professionals. So I believe that one key way is that we need to have investment professionals in this organization because of the reasons that I gave. For example, ICIFA members are required to abide by the highest standards of ethics and integrity because we have a code of ethics and conduct, and we have disciplinary mechanisms such that a member cannot risk to mislead the investors or to mislead the clients because they risk being deregistered, they risk losing out on their career, they risk being fined, being jailed. So one way to really boost corporate governance is to ensure that there are investment professionals in these organizations. I think that's one way to handle it. And I know Daniel, given that he's actually in corporate approvals, he can also shed some more light with regard to corporate governance structures. Thank you. I hope I've answered your question, Shadrach.
Yeah,
but
thank you, mate.
yeah.
Yes, maybe Daniel, can you react because I know you do. You actually have the word governance in your title. So maybe you can just very briefly, because I'm conscious of time, very briefly.
Yeah, I think in the context in which that question has been raised, looking at things to do with the Bitcoins and the others, probably I may want to look at it from the perspective of dealing with regulated entities. So before you invest, please make sure that you're dealing with an entity which has been licensed by CMA. And in case you got a doubt, our emails, Conrad, I think you should be able to share that. And going to the website, we have even a whistleblowers portal, and you can also send email directly. We have corporate@CMA and many others. Please, it will not take a day to revert to you on your query. So if you're in doubt, please come back to us. But for corporate governance, we focus more on both the licensed entities, the market intermediaries, as well as the issues of securities to the public, because we recognize that without proper governance, I think everything else will fall. So we have been placing a lot of emphasis on that. And as Conrad has said, I think that can be a topic on its own, corporate governance. Thank you.
All right, fair. Yeah, corporate governance is a whole other topic. In fact, I think maybe we can have a forum specifically for corporate governance at some point. Now I can see 313. The hand is up, so I'm hoping you have a question now, and that's not a mistake.
Conrad, real quick before we move to
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid question there in terms of corporate governance, and I think one of the things, a basic underlying rule in cryptocurrency, having doubled in it for a while, is you're told somebody is asking you to centralize your investment somewhere and they'll grow. Take it with a pinch of salt and be very cautious about it. In terms of the lingo used in that space is not your keys, not your cryptos. So that's one of the first rules. And I think I'd like to echo what FA Diana and Mr. Orteri have said. It's very important locally to deal with regulated entities. If you go to the CMA site, it lists everyone in terms of organizations that are allowed to offer investment products, investment advice, and other services in the market. I think that's very key. For foreign entities, I think one of the things that has come out in this meeting time and time again is investor education, in the sense of giving investors the kind of information they need to make the right decisions. So basics of trying to see how a company is being run. Who are the directors? Do they have board committees? Do they have an audit committee? Do they have an investment committee? Do they have risk management, technology committees? Who are the people in that? I think that's very critical and very important. And such a question could not have come at a better time because of what is happening in the US with the company called FTX that was run by one Sam Bankman-Fried, billions of dollars unaccounted for, right under the nose of the regulator, unfortunately, and serious questions coming up from there. And thankfully, CMA has much higher standards and more vigorous checks, to the best of my knowledge. So I think there's a responsibility of us as investors trying to educate ourselves in terms of what should I be looking for in a company that purports to offer investments. If the returns are too good, having an appreciation of where the market is at in terms of returns, then that's a red flag for me. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. I think that's very important. And the FTX I mean, the story is huge, and it's even affecting some startups in Kenya. I think about 3 startups. And so it's very, very important to understand. Now, and I'm taking the 313 does not have a question. I think the hand is up in error. So if you've got any other questions, we've still got 5 minutes.
I think I can hear him trying to speak, him or her.
Oh, okay. So you can ask your question. Go ahead.
Sorry. I just want to ask, maybe last time we were in the meeting, I remember, I think you basically are sharing with the Korean society, and one of the things that we were assured is we can take the NSC site for more clarifications in terms of the talks stuff and also learning. So I've been trying to check nsc.co.ke. I don't know if that is the right site, and I am not able to go through. I don't know if it's some IPs have been blocked. So then the last one, is it possible that you also share with us where we can, especially the CMA website link, so that we can be able to go through and confirm a specific company before we decide? For us who are in diaspora, I'm actually in South, who can decide now and invest on that. I think these links will be able to help us in terms of checking before you now make a decision. Excuse me to give the last one, please. I'm looking forward to start opening a startup in a tech company. Maybe would you explain if there are any exemptions in terms of maybe taxes? Because most of the time you'll make this decision and you'll go heavy on it, and then you'll be required to like do some taxing and also cost for running that specific company. Maybe simply, will you break down for me, please, whatever I will need and what I may forego for now as a startup before I enter into later?
Okay, thank you. Okay, now I think unfortunately I couldn't actually hear. I'm hoping the panelists heard the question, but I think what I picked up was for CMA, if we have information on our website where you can verify that a company is actually licensed, and yes, we do have that, and that's www.cma.or.ke. That's www.cma.or.ke, and we even have a CMA mobile app. You can download it from Google Play. That will not only give you the license intermediary, but also the location. You can just click that. So, but I think the panelists, I'll leave it open. I didn't hear the other questions, unfortunately. So maybe I can open it up to anyone to
the other one
respond.
is regards the NSC website. I'm seeing, I have tried to access it from my end, but it's not online. So would it be an issue of maybe locality that if you're outside the country, it cannot work, or what?
The NSC website, let me look at it right now. Okay.
So where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm in South Korea. South Korea.
South Korea. Ah, Kemcho. All right, good. Yeah, I've actually been to South Korea, and you should actually be able to access the website for the NSC. Okay, because it's nsc.co.ke, www.nsc.co.ke, and then on Play Store you can also get our NSE app. So you just go to Nairobi Securities Exchange, you should be able to get the app. You should be able to get the NSE app there as well. So I don't know, Conrad, have you found our website? And maybe
yes, I'm actually able to go into your website with no problems at all.
Yeah, so I'm really wondering what could be the issue. So we should be able to get in touch. So maybe I could give my email address. You can just text me or send me a message on drongo@nsc.co.ke and copy info@nsc.co.ke, info@nsc.co.ke, and drongo@nsc.co.ke, and then I should be able to get back. If it is South Korea, we can see maybe what could be the issue. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. And I recognize the president was recently in South Korea, and I know he got a chance to meet with Kenyans, and I'm hoping you're one of the Kenyans who were there in the audience. We've got another question from Dismas Ogola. So Dismas, the floor is yours. So Dismas, you've got a question, yeah? Okay, I think maybe Dismas, maybe you're having some challenge. Oh, okay, I can see your microphone open. You can ask your question. Can anyone hear Dismas? Okay, I think there's a mic. Maybe Dismas, maybe you can send your question in the chat at the bottom. But now we have Leroy. I think Leroy Ikuze, you've got a question. You can open up your mic. Leroy, yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon to you all.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I first want to appreciate about this meeting. It was really thoughtful and really interesting. My question is not like a question. I just want to have, I just had these thoughts about with the future trends emerging, like you can now transact, I mean, with your phones, make transactions with your phones and all those means of doing transactions. What can be or what can we expect of the changes in the capital markets that can, you know, in one way or another have an influence on the economy of a country as a whole and also as on the capital markets? Yes, thank you all.
Okay, I'll leave the floor open to anyone to respond.
Sorry, Conrad, I missed the question.
I think from what I understand, it's almost a two-part question, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dismas. The first question is, what do we have in place in terms of mobile technology to facilitate a diaspora for actually buying shares like directly? And number two, so almost related, what's the outlook of the capital markets? And I think Daniel sort of touched on that, but maybe you can just briefly highlight.
So I'll attempt to maybe have a go at the first one.
Okay.
In terms of digital access to the market, this is based on quite a number of things that Rongo and myself have discussed before. For quite a long time, there's something that has been called direct market access, and this, I believe, allows investors to trade for themselves using the various portals availed by brokers. So I'm sure quite a number of the brokers right now in the Kenyan market, and this has been the situation maybe for the last 5-6 years, they have a portal where you can log in, create an account, and then that allows you to trade. Kenneth has confirmed in a sense, in a very strong sense, that they also have a mobile app that does the same thing. I know quite a number of other brokers have mobile apps. So the trend we are seeing from the market side is that convenience has really encouraged the younger side of investors to come into the market. Our dads and granddads and grandmoms, etc., they still want to have physical access to a broker, have a discussion, give them money, etc. But with the advent of digital technologies like mobile apps, APIs, mobile money, it's very convenient right now in the market to open a CDS account and start trading within 24 hours or less, right from anywhere. But you have to go with a broker that has deployed those capabilities, because some have not. So I think part of choosing a good broker is understanding your convenience requirements and seeing whether they fit into that. And I think in terms of what I see that doing for the market is from the CBK report, I think it was Q3, Q4 last year or this year, I forget, that showed the bulk of the money is coming into the country from diaspora. I think we're getting about 1 or 2% into the capital markets, which I think is quite unfortunate because it's a very viable investment option. So I think with such capabilities in the market, the conversation should now be, as you put your money in other things, just have a plan for consistently investing in the capital markets, whichever option you want to choose, so that as you grow your other investments with land and other opportunities, you also have a strong portfolio that is growing in the capital markets. I think that would be my take. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That's fantastic. Now, if you haven't done so already, it's good to hear that we've got people from all over, somebody from South Korea. Just on the chat at the bottom of your screen, if you can tell us where you're at, even if you're in Kenya, you can say we're in Kenya. I saw a few people that did that at the beginning, but you can actually just jot down where you are, just to give it an appreciation of the time that we spent together. So I think we've actually got maybe like 5 more minutes we can spare for any other questions. Okay. Jeffrey, Karibu, Jeffrey. Jeffrey has been very, we've had interactions together and he's very instrumental in the minority shareholders, and we've had a lot of engagement. He's very passionate. So Jeffrey, I welcome you to ask your question. Yes, Jeffrey?
Yeah, Conrad, as we wait for Jeffrey, I can see a
Okay.
question. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
someone who was asking if we also consider years of experience to qualify for registration as a member. So currently the Act is, the Act states that the Certified Investment and Financial Analyst Certificate from CASNEM is a requirement for registration. So that is we are bound by the Act. But I believe before the enactment of after the enactment of the Act, there was an 18-month period where persons who were already in the industry and had significant years of experience, they could join. However, that ended because the Act stated that they need to have registered within 18 months. So currently the requirement is the CIFA qualification. And maybe just allow me to add, I believe this is important for the sake of our diaspora viewers. We have an investment show on our YouTube channel, Institute of Certified Investment and Financial Analysts, and it's mainly to showcase investment opportunities and to also showcase our members and the importance of professional investment advice. So if you go to Institute of Certified Investment and Financial Analysts YouTube, there's a playlist for investment show. There's wealth of information on that specific show. So please, I can share the link here on the chat. So feel free, you can learn a lot from that. You can also subscribe as we plan to launch season 2 of the investment show, because there are 12 episodes, all different themes, looking at various opportunities in the market. And we even have an episode on investing during the holiday season. And we have a holiday season coming up, so that will be an important show to watch, as well as setting financial goals. So please go over to our YouTube page, you can subscribe, and you'll see the playlist for a CIFA investment show.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And I can see we've got people from all over. I can see there is actually, let's see here. We have somebody from, I saw somebody from Kiambu in Kenya, and I saw we have Jonathan from Qatar. I hope you're watching the sports at the stadium and you're listening from there at the moment. We have Alicia from Dar es Salaam. We've got Leroy from New York. We've got Beam Rocky from West London. We've got Hashan Miner from Kiambu, Joseph Barasa. So I think it's good that you get an appreciation of where everyone's coming from. Now, I'm looking at the questions, and I think there's some questions. There's a question. How does one open a CDS account if it's not in Kenya? And I think that's for Mumu. I don't know if I know you kind of talked about that, but I think that's a question that's been asked.
Yeah, excellent question. We do get that a lot, and it has informed quite a number of the decisions we've made on the technology front. I think there are 2 keywords I'd like to highlight at this point in time. One, The simple one is you can go to www.cdsckenya.com or the NSE website. We have the list of brokers there. Of course, after verifying that they exist on the CMA website as well. But in a nutshell, you get to look at the list of brokers. If you find one you're interested in, then there are two ways you can go about it. You can engage them directly via email or any other means. Social media is one of the things we've really been trying to encourage all market participants to be strong in. So once you engage them, some of them will just require you to send an email with certain KYC documents, and then the account will be processed and opened within 24 hours or so. The other more convenient method is a number of brokers currently allow you to open the account for yourself online, and they are riding on the APIs that have been availed by the CDSC and the NSE. So unfortunately, you need to go through the various brokers because I cannot recommend anyone directly. But if you get in touch with them, they'll tell you if you're in country X or Y, go to this link, fill in this form, your account will be opened in XYZ. So we even have quite a number of brokers with mobile apps that allow you to open accounts and start trading within an hour or two. So I think there are very many options in terms of digital access to the market. Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot. And I see and thank you. I see some panelists are answering questions on the chat. But Daniel, I see two questions that I think are right in your neck of the woods. The first question is about sustainable investments. Like what's in Kenya at the moment, either in terms of green products and what's in the pipeline. And then there's another question, a very good question actually. We've had some issues in the market. If you look at issues of Chase Bank, Mumias, Uchumi, Nakumat. So what are we doing? What are we doing to make sure that that investors are protected and we don't have more companies that are delisting? So maybe if you can talk about those two, I think it'd be good. Daniel?
Yeah, thank you, Conrad. I think those are excellent questions. On the first one, in terms of sustainable investing, this is an area that we have been focusing on in the past few years, and especially because everyone acknowledges that you want to invest in a company that will be existing in the next 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 years. And so the focus is more on the companies coming to the market and ensuring that they have strategies to ensure that they're able to evolve and innovate because we live in a very dynamic world. So when you look at the frameworks that we've issued in the recent past, the one is the Code of Corporate Governance, this emphasis on the boards taking charge and making sure that the company adopts, the ESG. This is the environmental, social, and governance aspects. In the past, the focus was more on the governance bit, but now this is being extended to environmental and social. I think we just come from the COP meeting in Egypt, and the discussion on these issues was quite elaborate and extensive, and I think there's a lot of materials on the website. So what we've been encouraging companies is to disclose to the investors what they are doing as far as their sustainability is concerned. And you'll also realize that even when it comes to reporting, this is what we're also calling the integrated reporting, so that within the reporting, traditionally we're only looking at the financial performance of the company, but now they have also to talk about their sustainability in terms of ESG. So a lot of emphasis on that, and even training that is geared towards supporting that. The other framework that we've issued in the recent past is Stewardship Code. And this especially also speaking to the question that was raised in terms of pension funds and ensuring that investments are protected, is to ensure that, or to empower institutional investors, the pension fund managers and other institutional investors, to directly engage with the issuers. For example, where an issuer has invested in a company significantly, they need to engage with the management of that company directly. Because we admit that within the framework of annual general meetings, that does not provide sufficient opportunity for the investors to engage with the management. So noting that these investors are there for the long haul, it's important that they take that initiative and they discuss strategies with the company, because most of these are professionals. They're out there, the fund managers, and they understand the environment within which the company is operating in. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say about sustainability. And then on the other question, in terms of the challenges we've had in the past, companies not performing or even getting to a point where they have to delist from the market. Also, this goes into the question on governance, and we undertake governance inspections, because we acknowledge that governance, if you have a board that is not up to the task, most likely that company will get into challenges when it comes to strategy implementation. So we have, as part of the governance, we insist that, or the requirements are that the board has also to include, it has to be diversified, and most importantly, there has to be independent directors. Directors will be not directly vested in the company, and they'll be able to share feedback, which is useful for the company in terms of looking at perspectives that the company may not have considered in the past. So yeah, governance, I think, is key, and also making sure that these companies are compliant, and we undertake various supervision, strategies in order to monitor their performance, their reporting, and ensure that they're able to meet the requirements. Because of course, when you find a company not meeting the requirements, that may mean there could be challenges down the line. So we also don't shy away from taking enforcement action against companies that are not complying with the law. Conrad, I hope that is sufficient.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. In fact, as you talk, I just remembered, before you got your new position, you were actually the manager for market supervision. so,
yes,
so this
yes,
is what you
that
did.
is true.
So very good. So at least at this point, I'd like to bring it to a close. And thank you so much. I'd like to give probably the panelists perhaps any parting shots for just like 30 seconds you'd like to share. Let me start with Mumo, because you look like you're ready to bust some stuff there. Yeah.
Thank you, Conrad. I think I'm very excited with the conversations, because the kind of questions coming in tell you where we are at as investors. It's very encouraging, and the panelists have done an excellent job. I think for me, the key take home is the market exists for investors. We've really tried to make it as accessible as possible. The message we try to give out is, and this alludes to something that Mike has asked on the chat, as you invest in other things, include capital markets in your portfolio or in your investment strategy, because it's a very viable way of growing and preserving wealth. So we continue to strengthen investor education and our digital channels to make sure the markets are accessible. So I think in terms of a parting shot is we look forward to more participation, especially by diaspora and local investors. This is Kenya, this is your market. Nobody can build your home like yourself. So please take part in the market. The information is there. You won't come in blind. Talk to the right people like Efe Diana and her colleagues, and you'll be all right in the market. And CMA is, of course, there and very ready to make sure everyone is playing their part correctly. Yeah, Asanteni sana. God bless you. Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you. I see you made Efe Diana do a very nice smile when you know. So there we go. There's a lovely smile. So maybe you can give us a parting shot, Efe Diana.
Thanks, Conrad. No, I just like how Momo is saying Efe Diana and her colleagues. maybe Momo, you should say Efe Diana and her fellow FAs.
That's it. That's the one.
You see, you're going to get fined. I warned you, you'll get fined.
Oh my.
or 3 years in jail, whichever comes.
Anyway, this is a great conversation. And maybe I should have highlighted while talking about the investment show. We have discussions in all capital markets, products and opportunities, because we have discussions on how to invest in stocks, government securities, collective investment schemes, real estate, which includes real estate investment trusts. So I'm just encouraging you to just go on over, I've shared the link on the chat to watch more about it. And and also to ensure that you're also getting investment advice from our members. We also have a member directory, just to confirm that your investment advisor is a member of the CIFA. You can go to our member directory on cifa.co.ke and you'll be able to see the member directory. And we are also advisors of the capital markets with regard to licensing of certified investment and financial analysts. So as Conrad said, we are very good partners because even the Capital Markets Authority needs to ensure that there are professionals who are in the licensee firms. So thank you very much once again, Conrad, for the opportunity. To our diaspora audience, we appreciate your time. And if you're interested in becoming an FA, it can be done in any country. In fact, today we are approving an application from Qatar. And I know we also have some US people from the US, from all over the world, who also sit for the CIFA examination. You can reach out to us. It's normally done through the country's embassies. So thank you very much, and have a good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Thanks, Conrad, Daniel, Irungu, Momo, Kenneth, and the CMA team. We appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, FA Diana, and pass my regards to your FA colleagues. So, and I can say, Irungu, you look like you've switched to a furniture that looks like a car. Is that the new type of furniture that has a window? So maybe, you know, we can give an opportunity to say something. We don't want to get into an accident or anything.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm actually en route, and I'm actually at the expressway, which is very good for our people in diaspora. Please try out the expressway. I was in Mombasa Road. Right now, I'm in Westlands. So.
Oh, I think, okay. Okay, I think, well, again, I think you're losing you at the moment.
Really, really good. Anyway, hello.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
You can hear me? Sorry.
Okay. No, it's better now. Yes. Yes, we can now. Yes.
Oh. Let you know that we have opportunity right now. All the stocks are really valued very low because of it's a buyer's market because of the current valuations. So it's a good opportunity to kindly engage with your broker and be able to get into the market. And also, there are great things that are ahead. We look forward to engaging with you. To my colleague my friend in South Korea, it wasn't Kemcho. Kemcho is Indian. It is actually Kamsahamnida. Kamsahamnida means thank you very much, even for tuning in. So we look forward to engaging and also to be able to see how we can create value together. Thank you very much. And also look out for a diaspora bond in dollars. Thank you.
Ah, fantastic. Thank you very much. And now, Kenneth, thank you so much for attending. And I'm sure you've got a parting shot for our fellow viewers.
Thanks a lot, Conrad. I appreciate being on the show. As I mentioned earlier, I know, of course, as I've really sold our brokerage, AIB Access, but at the same time, I mean, our colleagues have also added a lot of opportunities that are available currently in our market. It's a fantastic time to invest, especially for diaspora clients. We all know the current weakness of our shilling. So for us, it's a negative. It's hurting us, but for you, it's a positive. You will get a lot more value for your buck, so to speak. There are a lot of opportunities. AIB is one of the intermediaries, and we've always had a soft spot for the diaspora clients. I think we were one of the first brokers to launch a fully interactive portal that allows you to open your account, as someone earlier had mentioned. Sorry, I don't recall who. So take this up. We won't be at these levels forever. You don't want to be left chasing the bus. So I would say take advantage. Our interest rates are at fantastic levels. Our equities are seriously undervalued, and this is for companies with very strong fundamentals. The fundamentals haven't changed. I think it's more, so to speak, a feeling or sentiment. So that's someone had mentioned earlier that buybacks are also an option. when companies feel their equities are undervalued. So yeah, take advantage. Our app is available on all the app stores. Also our website. If you just Google AIB Access. We are a firm based in Nairobi and also in Mauritius. We offer a wide range of investment options over and above equities, bonds. We also have quite a number of funds, even dollar funds, with our partners in Mauritius. So thanks for this, and for the diaspora community, have a great rest of the day. For those who are on the side where the sun is rising, and good night for those who are on the where the sun is going down. Have a good one. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot. Very well said. And last but not least, I know Daniel, from a regulator, what's your parting shot now?
Yeah, thanks, Conrad. And I also take the opportunity to thank my fellow panelists. It was excellent. And I think I also got a chance to learn. I think from where Kenneth has left it, the point is, I think in the past we've had some people sending over money, either through friends or relatives to invest on their behalf. But we're saying that we are at a time when you can do that directly, as Kenneth has said. We have technology, and you'll be able to have your investment directly, directed to the market intermediary who will be able to facilitate you. And alongside that, even for other sectors of the economy, for example, when you're talking about the real estate, we have the real estate investment trusts. So you don't have to struggle. If you want to get an asset in real estate, you can do that through a liquid listed instrument. Then for the US dollar investments, we have collective investment schemes or unit trusts, which have dollar funds. So you can as well invest in dollars from wherever you are. Then I think need to emphasize that as you interact with the market players or with the Kenyan market, always ensure that you deal with a regulated entity in order to ensure that you're not defrauded. Then finally, as I finish, I think it's also important to highlight that now we are allowing individuals to obtain licenses as investment advisors. And I think we'd want to get a few from the diaspora in order to be able to help us even reach more investors who are out there in the diaspora, Kenyans, and even foreigners, in order for them to also participate in the economic development of our country. So we also have regulations coming up, new frameworks on CISs, alternative investment funds, and I think public offers regulations. And I think what we also important to encourage you, every other time when we put out regulations of public exposure, be checking on our website. We value your feedback, especially based on your experiences out there in the other markets. So thank you very much, and always feel free to interact with us. We are happy to get your feedback and answer any questions that you may have. For licensing applications, we are always available, and you can send your inquiry or any questions that you may have to licensing@cma.or.ke. licensing@cma.or.ke. Asanteni sana.
Okay, thank you very much. And this, all good things come to an end. And I know, don't cry, please. It pains me to end this session. In fact, there's a tear right here. Can you see it right here? So, it's been a great, and this is going to be, we're going to have many more initiatives together. And I know next week we've got, there's a Diaspora Homecoming Convention, and I hope some of you will be in Nairobi then for Christmas. So we look forward to engagements, and we will continue to engage you. And I thank you. Thank you, panelists, for your time. We're doing this for us and for Kenya in building our country together. So will go a long way, and thank you very much. So I think the panelists are free to leave at your pleasure. I'm always trying to find a polite way to say leave. Okay, you can depart at your pleasure by simply clicking the button. So thank you very much, and we'll keep talking. All right,
Conrad,
bye.
maybe waiting for the snacks and the tea and after the session.
In fact, thank you. Daniel Wadatere has kindly offered to buy everyone a snack. In fact, I happen to have his credit card number. You can just order online. It is 33. Don't mess with me, man.
Thank you. Daniel, you are. And Conrad, thank you. Bye.
All right, have a good
Thanks,
one.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye. Thanks.